Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Programming Concepts. I am Saeed Naveed Abbas, and in this video, we are going to start Windows Form application tutorial series. Today, what we are going to build is a very simple application. In this application, we would store the information of contacts. The interface would be very simple, so to keep things simple. So let's get started. Open Visual Studio and create a new project. Select Windows Forms application. Name the project and select the folder where you want to save it. You can also select the targeted .NET framework against which you want to build your application, and then create. The project has been created. This is the Solution Explorer. It contains all the files of this project. If you don't see it here, you can click on View and Solution Explorer. This is the first form, and your application starts from this form. So whenever you launch your application, this will be the first form that will be shown. You can change it from here. Like if you have any other form and you want to launch your application from that form, you can just write the name here. Now we need to design the interface of the first form of the application. So we're going to use 3 buttons. So in this, we don't need to code the interface. We shall just drag and drop the components and the tools here, and the programming will be done by Visual Studio. So click on Toolbox, and if you don't see it here too, you can just go to View and click on the Toolbox. Here are all the tools that are available. Third-party tools can also be downloaded from NuGet Package Manager. Now we need to use buttons, so we can search them. You can change their properties from here, and again, if you don't see it here, you can find it here. Windows Properties window. You can change the text that would appear on the button, like this would be the Add button, and you can also change the name of the button. This name will be used as a reference in programming. So this will be btn add. You can also change the font color and font settings, font size, font style, and etc. etc. Now we're going to use 2 more buttons. I just copy and paste it here. This will be the Edit button. And paste it again. This will be the Delete button. Now we need to design our database table to store the information of contacts. So go to the Solution Explorer and add a new database. Add, new item, and select service-based database. Name the database as contacts. Now double click on the MDF file and it will be opened in Server Explorer. You can see the tables. It doesn't contain any tables yet. So you can add new table. This is the design interface of the database table. So first we're gonna use ID. It will be an integer and it will be an identity with increment of 1. So every time you add a new contact, it will be added 1 each time, like 1, 2, 3, and 4, etc. Now we're gonna use contact name. It will be a string. 100 characters are enough. Next we're gonna use contact number. Number will be a string also, so it's 15 characters are enough. Next we're gonna use contact address, and for the address 200 characters are enough. Next we're gonna use contact picture. Here actually we're not going to save the picture in the database. We're just gonna save its path where it is located. So it will be a string also. It could be 300. That's it. Now we're gonna rename the table as people. Update the database. Update. Okay, now the database table has been created. Let's see. Refresh this and show the table data. Now I will add a new contact here. And address as nowhere, and there's no picture available yet. So one contact has been added here. Now we go back to the form 1, and here we need a data grid view to display the data from the database. So data grid view arranges the data in the database in rows and columns. So it is the easiest way to fetch and read the data from database and display in Windows Form application. Name this as DGB. Okay, now we need to load our data into this Delegate view. So what we do is we go to the code. This is the code of the form 1. like it is the backend code of the form 1. The design code can be found here in Solution Explorer. Expand form 1 and you can see the designer code is here. You can expand this and you can see all your buttons and their coding is here. So it is auto generated, and you can see here is required method for designer support. Do not modify the contents of this method with the code editor. So it is not recommended to change the code here. Okay, back to the business. Now we need to load the data from database whenever our form 1 is loaded. So we click on the form 1, go to its properties, and here we can see events. Now we find the load event. So whenever the form is loaded, this event is triggered. So double click here. Now we can put the coding of reading data from database here. So first we need to establish connection to our database. So we use system data SQL client. Now we need a connection string for database. So how can I find that? Go to the Server Explorer and click on MDF file and go to properties. Here you can find connection string. Copy it and paste it here. Remove these quotations inside the connection string. Now you can see it's showing errors like unrecognized escape sequence, but actually it is not an escape sequence. So we can put the @ sign here, so it tells the computer that this string is normal string and it doesn't contain any escape sequence. Now we can also shorten the address here. We don't want to refer the full path here. We can actually use data directory. So data directory is the main directory of the project from where the application starts. So in data directory, there's a contacts database. That's it. Now we need to establish a SQL connection. So we're gonna use SQL connection, con equals new SQL connection, and here we need to paste the connection string. Now we open this connection. Now we need an SQL data adapter to read the data from database and put it into data grid view. So data adapter equals new SQL data adapter. Here we need to insert the query. So what will be the query? So query is a command to read data from database. So in our case, we need to select everything from people's table. That's it. We use this query and we use this connection, this query, and this connection here. Now we need to create a data table um, to put the data inside the data table and then make that data table source of a data grid view. So we create a data table and then fill this data table with the data. Now change the source of DGB to the contents of data table. That's it. Let's run this application. And here you can see that the data has been loaded here and it's displaying in the data grid view. After doing this, we close the connection and dispose the data adapter. That's it. Now we go back to the form 1 and adjust this data grid view, and here we select fill, and here we select all cells. Now run this again, and now you will see that all the rows are fit to the size of this data grid view. Before they were actually crossing the border. Now we need to adjust the size of this DGV so it adapts the size of application, not to make it constant size. So we're gonna go to properties of DGV and make its anchor points to left and bottom too. Run this again. And now you can see the data grid view is changing its size according to the size of the application. Now we need to make a little changing of whenever we select a cell, the entire row is selected. So we go to DGB properties and we select selection mode to full row select. Run this again. Now you can see the whole row is being selected. Now we define our delete button. We click on the delete button. Again, we go to its events and double click here. We can also double click the delete button to go to its click event, because click event is the default event of the buttons. So we double click here, and now we need and the connection string again. So why not make it the global string, so we can use it in all the functions. So cut it from here and paste it here. Okay, now again we need to make SQL connection. Now we need a delete query. So the delete query will be something like delete from people where id equals. Now we need id. We don't have any id yet, so we want to grab the id from data grid view. So we need to delete the selected row. Okay, when we select any row, its first cell in the row is the id. So that's what we need so that we can delete the current entry. So how are we gonna do this? We just do it here. String id equals data grid view selected rows cells, so selected cells, selected cells 0. Selected cell 0 means the first cell and its value, and we convert it to string. That's it. Now we have the id, so we can delete, put it here, and that's it. Now we're gonna use SQL command. Again, we pass our query here and connection here. Command execute none query. And finally, we close the connection and dispose the command. Let's run this again. Delete this. Okay, now it has been deleted, but the changes have now reflected because we didn't reload the static view. So let's do this. Here we need to reload the data again. So we copy this code, or actually we can cut this code, create a new function, void load data. It will be private. And paste the code here. And that's it. Now we're gonna call this function here, load data, and after deleting, we call this function here again, load data. Now start the application again. There are errors, unfortunately. Semicolon is expected here. Biggest mistake. Okay, run this again, and we delete it, and you see it has been deleted. Now you will be wondering, if that was deleted at the first place, then how did it appear again this time? Let's see again. Start, and you see it again. This is because we are actually debugging, and whenever we debug our program, the original database remains untouched. So Visual Studio creates a copy of the database and then performs all the operations on that copy. And every time you run the debugging again, it just copies the original one. So it wouldn't be deleted until you delete it from the original one. So we can directly open the folder. Now we go to bin, debug. Here are the compiled files of our program. So we can run it from here, and you can see the context.mdf file exists here, and it exists here too. So this is the original one, and this is the copy of the original. So every time we just debug it, it creates a copy of original one, and so the original data remains the same. So we run it from here. Now we are not debugging, and we delete it, and we close it, and we run it again, and you see there's nothing, because now it is not being copied here. But if we go back and copy this database and paste it here, now we run this again, and we see that again. So that's what Visual Studio does. So you don't need to worry, our delete function is working properly. Now we need to add more functionalities and some feedbacks, like we display successfully deleted message here, like message box show the message. So the message will be successfully deleted. The title of the message will be successful, and message box buttons would be OK, and message box icon will be information. Okay, start debugging again. Delete this. Successfully deleted. Okay. Okay, now we need to add button and edit button functionality. So we need another form. So when we click on add button, it shows another form, and we fill in the information, and it saves the information back into the database. So let's create another form. Go to Solution Explorer, add a new item, and select form. So this will be the add form. Add. Okay, add or add new. Yeah, add. Okay, now we need to design this add new. So we need toolbox and we labels. Change its size. First thing is name. Copy this, paste it. Then comes number, and then address, and of course the profile picture. The contact picture, actually. The contact picture will be displayed in the picture box. So we search for picture box. Come on. We go to its properties. We call it contact picture, and we make it visible by making its border fixed symbol, so we can see it here. Now we need to add some text boxes. Change their font size to 12. Here's the name. Here's the number. And here's the address. We also need to change their names. So this is the text box for name. So we call it TB name. We call this TB number. And we call this TB address. And usually the address is a long string. So we make this text box multi-line. This one. Okay, here we want to add pictures. So double click here. No, don't double click. Find the double click event here. Double click. So whenever the user double clicks on the contact picture, we show it a dialog box and it chooses a file, and then that image file is assigned as a contact picture. So for this we need open file dialog. Now we need to filter JPG files. That's it. Now we make contact picture image location equal to open file dialog file name. And also we need to make multi-select false, because we don't to select multiple files. That's it. Now we need to add the add button, which will be added here. We call this btn add. Okay, so when the user clicks on the add button, we again need the connection string and all that stuff we copied from here. Copy the connection string, go back here, paste it here, and also you can use system data SQL client. Okay, now we're going to use SQL connection. And connection string here. We open the connection. Now we need query. So the query will be insert into people. So we're gonna insert first. We're gonna insert contact name, contact name. Then we can insert contact number. Then we're gonna insert contact address, and then contact picture. Now we pass the values. So values are first the contact name. So the contact name will be in TB name text, and then TB number text, and then TB address text, and at the end there is a contact picture box, contact picture image location. That's it, I think. We can insert some codes here. Okay, that's it. Now we are going to use SQL command. Pass the query and connection. Now run this command, execute none query, and close the connection, and dispose the command. And that's it. Now in the form 1, when we click on this, we need to show up the add button, add form. So add new is another form, new, add new, and show. Okay, I click here and you can see it shows up this. Double click here. It's not working. There's a problem. I forgot something. Double click here. OFD show dialog. Here and go to desktop and find some images. And okay, there's an image. Oh wow. Now we're gonna name this. So name is Naveed Abbas and the number is this and address is anywhere. Add. Okay, the contact has been added, but there's no any successful message because we didn't code it. Okay, close this and reload this. How are we gonna do that? We didn't reload it again. Okay, let's do this again. So when we finish adding the contact here or here, sorry, here we use show dialog. So there's a difference between show and show dialog. Let me show you. Here I can add this, I can minimize this, add again, and minimize this and this. So if we want the user to deal this one first, so we need to make it as show dialog. So once we created show dialog, we can no longer minimize this and use the other form because it wouldn't allow us. We have to deal with this one. Okay, once we finish adding the new contact, we need to load data again. So we're gonna load data again, and also here when the contact has been added successfully, we show the message box. So message box show successfully added and title successful and message box buttons okay and message box icon information. Okay, we add this, click on here, add the image and Naveed Abbas is anywhere. Add it. It didn't disappear because we didn't code it. Again, we forgot this. Okay, but we can do this again. So you can see the new contact has been added. So once the contact has been added, we can close this one, load it again, add. This time we're gonna add the bus. We're gonna add this number, and we are from nowhere. It automatically closes, and now you can see a bus has been added. Now we have to deal with another problem. The image actually doesn't show up completely, so we need to adjust this as zoom. So now it will adjust its width and height according to the size of this image box. Add, and this, and now you see the full image is being shown up. Okay, now we need to create the edit button. So what edit button does, it provides us a form to edit it, just like this one. It will be similar to this one, but it will have an edit button here. So why not use this one instead of creating a new one? So we can change this one to make it usable as the edit function. So close this and go to the click event of, no, we go here and we add a new button here for edit. So when we open this for editing, the add button will be hidden and this edit button will be visible. Here. Now we can make this invisible and we shall make all of them as public so that we can modify them from outside this form. So actually it should be update. Yeah, it looks more suitable. Okay, when we click on the edit button, it updates the new contacts. Okay, so we again need all this stuff, and instead of inserting, we're gonna edit them, we're gonna update them. Update people and set the contact name as the new contact name, TB name, text. Delete all of this. Plus we need to set contact number as TB number, text, and contact address as TB address, and contact picture as contact picture image location. Okay, now we need to provide the ID against which we want to change the values, but we don't have it yet. Where ID equals, ID is unknown here. So first we need to find the ID. So we go here we go to the code and we create another global variable as public string ID. Okay, so this will help us find the ID against which we need to make changes. So whenever we open this box, open this form for editing purpose, we shall provide it the ID of that contact. So I think we have done everything. We can change successfully updated, and everything else is good. Their ID will be the ID. That's it. Okay, so now we go to the form 1 design and double click on edit, and now we need to show the same dialog box, add new, and we show this show dialog. But before this, we need to adjust it for editing. Like we don't want to show the btn add, so we make it hidden. So visible false, and we also need the ID. So we grab the ID from direct view as we did earlier. DGV selected cells. The first cell value to string and save it as string ID. And once we have this ID, we can make add news ID to this ID. Okay, now we have added btn add to false. Now we make its text box tb name, sorry, am tb name equal to the name. So the name is okay, name is the second property, so it will be in the second cell of the row. So we can make this as, come on, okay, here. Copy this and paste it here. Now we select the second cell. So in the second cell there is the name, so the name will be assigned to the text box name of the add new form. And in the same way we do this to all other properties. TB number will be third one, so third one, and TB address will be the fourth one, and image location will be the fifth one. So contact picture image location will be the fifth value in the data grid view. And now we make the BTN edit visible. Okay, let's do this. Okay, now we want to edit this contact. We go to edit, and you can see all these values are here, and we can see update here, but we still don't see the image. And there may be a problem, but let's edit this. So the number, added this number to 898989898, close, and we didn't load it again. Okay, after all this, we load the data again, and the problem was here. Contact picture image location to fourth value. So actually that contact didn't have any picture, that's why it didn't display. Restart it again. We added this, no picture. We select a new picture for this contact and change the number to 789789789 and update and see we have 789789789 and contact picture here. So we can edit this. Where's the BTN add? The BTN add. We can edit this, and we see here everything is good, but BTN add is invisible here. Why? Okay, we need to hide the BTN add of AN, not the form one. Okay, run this again and edit and assign the picture and update. Now we edit, we can see the changes. We add a new contact, Abbas 5252, and address is here. Add the image. Okay, that's good. View this, and we can see it here. So now we have successfully created the contact application. We can add data to database, we can edit it, we can delete it. It's fantastic. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Goodbye. See you in the next video. And until that, take care. Allah Hafiz. And thanks for watching.